Watch this. This agent is on a recursive task. It's supposed to build a feature, test it, fix what breaks, and then repeat. And it's doing all of that with confidence. There's just one problem. The function it's calling, it doesn't exist. It made it up 3 steps ago, and now it's writing more code to support the thing that was never real. This isn't a bug. The model didn't glitch. It got lost, and it got lost for one reason. You never gave it a map. Here's what almost nobody who's coding or building things with AI in 2026 wants to admit. The thing that made you fast in 2024 is the exact thing that's about to break you. And let me show you what I mean. Back in 2024, this is how it all worked. You, a chat window, a short task, build me a login form, say, or whatever you want to do. It spits out the code, you read it, something's off, you catch it. You paste the error back, it fixes it. You're the editor, you're the quality control. You're in the loop on every single step. And it worked. It worked beautifully. Millions of people shipped real things this way. I did. You probably did too. But what happens when you take yourself out of the loop? Because the projects need to get bigger. You want to get more efficient. Everything's faster. It's 2026. Everybody's talking about autonomous agents. You don't have to sit there and approve every step. You hand off a goal and you walk away. Multiple agents working in parallel on a long-running task for hours, which sounds amazing until you realize what you just removed. In the old model, you were the source of truth. When the AI drifted, you yanked it back. You pulled it back in. Take yourself out, and there's nothing left. No reference, no ground, nothing to check reality against. So the agent does the only thing it can do, what it wants to do. It wants to make you happy. It starts to guess. So look at this. Same session. The agent needs the user schema here. It defines it one way. Needs it again here. Maybe it's in a different chat. You started a new chat because you ran out of, compressed it. You started a new chat. And now it's slightly different. And again, down here, a third time, nobody told it which one is real. It's trying to find out, sourcing its memory. So every time it needs that information, maybe it slightly reinvents itself or something slightly off. And every version is a little bit wrong. So that's the hallucinated context that you experience. And this is the part that should scare you. In the old days, if you were watching it and you were coding and step by step, you caught it. Now, because the project's bigger and we want to create bigger things, you can't watch everything. There's no you. So the wrong version becomes the foundation for the next decision and the next and the next. And that's how technical debt goes from annoying to unfixable in a single afternoon. I've talked to tons of countless people where they look at this project and it got out of control. It's not because the model is dumb, because the models are incredible and they're only getting better. It's because you put a genius in a room with no blueprints and then you told it to build a skyscraper from memory. That's the trap. We called it freedom, right? Just vibe it, man. It can take care of it. But a sandbox has no walls, no plumbing, no plan. You can certainly build a sandcastle, but you can't build a house. So if that chat window and vibe coding is a sandbox, what's the opposite? Well, the opposite is a construction site. Think about what makes a job site work. Anybody can walk on. A new electrician, plumber, inspector, guy's never even been on the project. They can orient themselves pretty quickly. Why? Because the blueprints are in a known place. The materials are in the yard. The inspection log is on the wall. Nothing depends on what's in one person's head. That's the whole game. This is the reframe I want you to burn into your brain for the rest of your coding career. The handoff is a folder. It's not a conversation. It's not a chat. When you brief an agent in chat, that context essentially dies the moment the session ends, or it gets buried in a thread you're never going to find again. But when the context lives in files, a disciplined structure, in a known structure, at predictable paths, it doesn't drift. It doesn't get forgotten. The agent doesn't have to remember because it can just go look. So the difference is, looky here, the agent hits the same moment from before. What does the object look like? How does it actually work? In the sandbox, it guessed. Here, it knows exactly where to look. One path, one answer, the same answer every time for every agent in every session. No drift, no reinvention, no crack in the foundation. That's the unlock. Context drift was never really about a model problem. It's a filing problem. And filing problems have boring, reliable, permanent solutions, which is exactly what you want. Holding up something you're not watching. So what does a site look like? What does the schema look like? Well, I'm going to show you a real repo, the structure I use. And I'm not going to give you the whole 12-folder grand tour here because you'll glaze over and so would I. But I am going to show you the 2 moves that do 80% of the work. And move 1, and this is the most powerful thing, the single source of truth, is this planning folder. It becomes the hub. with all the architect packs, with all the sprints. This folder is the load-bearing wall, the domain context, the risks, the decisions that are already made. When an agent needs to know how does this app actually work, it comes here. Not to its imagination, it comes here. Simple rule. If two different agents could disagree about something, well, then that thing belongs in this hub. The hub is how they agree without ever talking to each other. And move two, and this is the one that's going to save you the most pain, is you separate your logic from your instructions to the model. Two models do two separate things. You have an architect and you have a builder. Claude Chat, ChatGPT, architect. Cowork, architect. Codex, Claude Code, Antigravity, that's the builder. Two separate. Most people tangle these together in one. The makers of these products tells you can do it all in one. And you can, from a technical standpoint. But why put all the actual code and the instructions and the visions, everything mashed together? If you're having it live inside of one model's head, it feels fine until the day you want to switch tools. A new agent drops, faster, cheaper, smarter, happens every few months. Claude Code, Codex, whatever's next. If your whole project only lives inside of one of them in chats, switching means starting the briefing over from scratch. But when the project lives in a disciplined folder structure, you can swap these tools out. You can swap the entire builder to a whole different agent, the whole different tool, and nothing breaks. Claude Code today, Codex tomorrow. Do my chat in ChatGPT, do my builder in Claude Code. It doesn't matter. Each one reads from the same canonical file, the same sprint files. The context was never trapped in the model. In chats, it's sitting in the folder. All the decisions, everything, waiting for whoever shows up. And to me, this is a non-negotiable. That's not a nice to have. In a world where the tools are getting better every quarter, exponentially, the ability to switch them for free is the difference between compounding and falling behind. And one more, quietly doing the heavy lifting in the background, automated documentation, every decision after every sprint, logged, dated, one durable file. This is the long-term memory your agents don't have on their own. 6 weeks from now, when an agent or you ask, why did we build it this way? The answer isn't lost in a chat thread. It's written down. It's on the wall of the job site where it belongs. Now, here's where it stops being about clean code and starts being about something a lot bigger. If you're going to succeed in coding and going forward and using these tools, you need leverage. And a folder convention is the cheapest employee you will ever hire. You set it up one time, and then it onboards every new agent and every new human who reads this for free, forever, while you sleep. Look, a brand new agent, never seen this project. I don't brief it for 20 minutes and bring it up to speed on the context. I point at it, the structure, point at the file folder system, and it onboards itself because the map is the same map every time. The blueprints are where the blueprints go. The constraints are where the constraints go. And this is the thing about standardized paths. Every prompt can automatically pull its own neighborhood, the relevant files around whatever it's working on, because it always knows where the neighborhood is. You're not feeding context by hand anymore. The structure feed it. That's the same reason a new human hire gets productive faster. Same map. There's no, let me explain how we do things here. How you do things is in the folder structure. They read it and they're in. Most people are out here optimizing prompts, tweaking words, chasing the perfect wording, and look, that's fine. That's the sandbox getting fancier. But the real wealth isn't in any single prompt. It's in the system the prompt runs inside. Set up the system once, and every prompt after it gets better automatically. Sharper context, less drift, faster onboarding without you doing anything. That's leverage. That's the thing that compounds when you're not looking. One good structure quietly paying you back on every task that you'll ever run. So let's zoom out. Where is this all going? The next generation of reasoning models, the ones coming, the ones after those, they're only going to get better, and they support using structured environments. They reward you for handing them a clean job site, and they punish you for handing them a sandbox. That gap does not shrink over time. It widens. Every model release makes the structured builder faster and leaves the vibe coder further behind, wondering why their agents keep getting dumber. They're not getting dumber. The map is missing. So you've got a fork in front of you, two roads. Road one, keep vibe coding, keep playing in the sandbox. Keep typing prompts into a chat box and hoping it holds together. It'll work for a while. It always works for a while, enough to tease you. That's what makes it a trap. On road two, the more boring path is you pour the foundation today. Treat your project like a construction site instead of a sandbox. Give your agents a map, a single source of truth, and a structure that onboards every new worker for free. And here's the truth. Setting up that structure from scratch is a pain. Figuring out which folders, what goes where, how the agent knows where to look. Look, it took me a long time to figure it out and get it right. So I packaged it. That exact folder structure I just walked you through, the planning hub, the logic instruction split, the architect builder method, the whole construction site. I built it into a launcher you can drop into a project, new or even an old one that's messy, and have the foundation poured in minutes instead of weeks. It's the first link in the description. If you're done building sandcastles and you want to build something that actually stands up, and you want to succeed in this coding game, that's where you start. But whether you grab it or not, make the choice on purpose, because the sandbox doesn't warn you. It just lets you keep building right up until the day the whole thing crumbles and falls over. Pour the foundation. I'll see you on the job site.